But
carbs.
if I wanted to cut carbs, I'd be shredded.
I don't think so. I don't think if you cut carbs as much, I don't think you would have as much muscle mass.
That's true. And also my energy, you know the reason that I don't want to? My energy has been through the roof.
Yeah, but also because carbs for sure. But also don't forget, like, if you cut out carbs, you're cutting out one of the 3 major macronutrients. You're cutting out so many calories. So yeah, you're gonna cut down, but you're gonna lose so much muscle mass.
Deficit, yeah.
Yeah, crazy deficit.
I like where I'm headed.
Episode 12.
Episode 12.
Let's get it. We are we're good. We're live recording. All right, before we get into it, dude, I gotta give a little shout out to Maddie. She gave us these you had one, right? Not the peppermint, the date bars. Oh my gosh, it was chocolate.
It was alright.
Peanut butter, and no, it just brought me back to when I was making my.
I'm just messing, because I hope she sees it. It was unbelievable.
She's gonna see it. I gotta tell her.
I never had anything.
It was so good.
Never had anything like it.
The combination of peanut butter and chocolate to begin with is a cheat code, but cheat code for everyone out there. If you're looking for a healthier dessert, dates. You can do there's so many date recipes. Also, shout out another listener, Emily. She hit me up, weird coincidental timing, because I also posted on the Mano page the Samoa energy balls with dates in it. So Maddie gave us that today. I posted that recipe like early last week, and then Emily hit me up about her date recipe. So we got dates.
Yeah, there's dates everywhere.
Not everywhere.
Not everywhere.
All right, let's jump into it. What you got?
But apparently, the recipes are all over TikTok. Like what to do with dates to spice it up. I said that Maddie has to make one.
Instagram Reels too.
Maddie has to make one to put on the Mano Pod. The Mano page.
It's so good, dude. I made the Samoa one. So go to manowellness.co Instagram page. There's Samoa balls. It's dates, coconut, and dark chocolate chips.
Ooh,
so good. So good.
All right. Well, let's jump into this. So
you got some planned up.
I'm so excited to show this. So we were sitting earlier this week and debating on what topics to do, and this comes across my Instagram, and I just start dying laughing, and I send it to you, and you're like, "We have to talk about it this week." So I'm gonna share this for the listeners so you can hear it.
This is actually, I said to you before, I spent probably 20 to 30 minutes going through this guy's page.
So good. So we're gonna talk about running today, and this is what stemmed off.
Should we give him a explicit content warning?
Yeah. No.
Go for it. You know, by the way, we are explicit in Spotify, where we had the explicit thing on there.
Did we?
Yeah.
That's kind of sick.
We're cool. All right, hit it.
So run. The fuck is running? The one thing that makes gym bros clutch their balls in fear like it's going to shrink their gains. But here's the truth. Running is the holy fucking grail of fat loss. Even when you stop, your metabolism keeps torching fat like a pissed-off furnace for hours. It works your legs, glutes, and core so hard you'll build lean muscle and a tight ass that could crack skulls. Your heart getting fucking stronger, blood pressure drops lower than your standards, and your bones stronger than your will to avoid drunk pecs. Run often and you'll sleep better, fuck better, and maybe even live long enough to tell your grandkids how badass you looked in your prime. So run, motherfucker, run. The fuck is running?
So we gotta, you also gotta see like what would you call them? Like the animations that go along with it.
Yeah, let's shout out the page real quick. So,
cause it's so funny. Doctor_curses.
Doctor_.
Makes sense now.
Right,
Yeah,
makes sense. But my quick comment on that, dude, I love that form of like the way that they put that together because it's funny, but it's so true.
Yeah. We can start in a lot of different spots when it goes to getting into it. Did you have a spot you wanted to start? Like, do you want to talk about overall health? You want to talk about heart health? You want to talk about mental health? Where did you want to start with running?
I think, to be honest, dude, we can get into the benefits of running, but like, I feel like for the most part, people know the more you run, the healthier you are. Like, I think I think people just understand that running is healthy. It's cardio. Mm-hmm. So we could get into the specific benefits, but I think it would do people more benefit or good if we just talk about like how to start running, what's a running program, how to do your first event, what is like Just kind of like the realistic like action items for running.
So so when the weather gets nice, I run from time to time. I run from time to time just because I enjoy being out in the sun and getting my workout in a little bit quicker. But I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't enjoy it. Like I don't know. I've tried to hit that enjoyment because I know it'll be so good for me. But I don't know. So, like, do you enjoy it? Because you do it often and you do it a lot.
Looking back on all the running I do, I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
But if you ask me during a run, I probably don't love it in that moment.
Right.
Question for you though. We did a little background for everyone. We did a 5K a day challenge. Me and Carson started up. I think we mentioned it once on the pod.
have.
We did 60 days. We hit the 60 days, and then we were just like, all right, first to lose, we get dinner. I got dinner. But
Did I pay for that?
yeah, we went. I forget.
One. If not,
Yeah, we went. No, we went to one in Conchi. I remember.
Oh, okay.
But my question for you is: did you run most of those?
Uh-uh.
You didn't like? You walked most of them?
I walked, and then just for time's sake, because the walking takes so long, I was forced to run. So how many did we do? We did 99. So say we did 100. I probably ran 25 of them. So
Okay.
75% was walking.
And you just don't. There's no part of it at all that you like.
I think it was more the same of what you said. I did like it once it was done because
Yeah.
I felt the sense of accomplishment. But if I had a choice, I would walk.
Yeah, that's fair.
I love walking. I don't
No.
know why I'm like a weirdo with walking. I love it.
I mean, it's so relaxing. So no, I absolutely. I think. Look, there are plenty of runs that I do absolutely enjoy, but there are going to be more so the runs where it's not for something, right? It's not for an event. It's not for a challenge. I'm just going out there. I'm going for a let's call it a fun run. Those are the ones where I'll enjoy it in the moment. But dude, like most of the runs that I do, you do it because it's uncomfortable, it's hard, and as we know, things that are uncomfortable and harder that you don't want to do, you on the other side are better. So like that's I am addicted and have found my addiction to running for the after effects. So that day, like right after that run, I get so many benefits from it, and then like long term wise, I get so many benefits from it. I can talk about. I think another good thing that we should touch on in the episode, because I definitely want to tell people like how I got started running.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'll be a good way to get into it. But also like instead of going through the scientific benefits, I think we should touch on like my experience and my personal benefits. I think that'll touch with people the most.
You know what I think one of my problems is? There's a lot, but when it comes to running,
Oh, we're talking about running.
yeah, we're talking about running.
All right. We'll say the rest.
Yeah, that's a whole nother.
We got plenty of
podcast.
episodes
That's a whole
coming.
nother podcast.
We got plenty of episodes.
No, you know what my problem is, and I actually, the more that I think about it, it's true. Is it weird that like I can't not like say I'm going out to run 3 miles, I don't have it to like not try and make that the fastest 3 miles I can do. Like I'm not satisfied with going out, and I think that's what turns me off too because I know I go 100% every time. I'm not satisfied with going out and running 3 miles at a 9-minute pace and like getting the benefits, but like it's like, dude, like you had more out there. Which is weird. I either go full run, so I'm dying at the end, like I finish with I'll literally sprint like at the end, or I walk. So it's like I guess it's 0 to 100.
Yeah. There's 2 things with that. Number 1, it's ego.
Yeah, big one.
And one that goes into that, which is number 2, is your relationship with working out. So, and these go hand in hand. Your relationship with working out, and this is for majority of people, and luckily I was able to get past this, is every single time you work out, you either have to break a sweat, you have to walk out of there like you completely killed yourself, you need to set a PR. Like everyone feels the need in every single workout for it to be maximal or extreme.
I'm getting better with that then because I used to be like that, and I still am actually.
Dude, and this is why people cannot stick to running. And it might be why you can't stick to running.
I think it might be.
Because instead of if you're doing 3 runs per week and you're trying to go balls to the wall for all 3, no, you do an easy one, you do a hard one, and then maybe you do a long one. That's easy intensity, but it's a long one, right? It's for the most part, I think a lot of people, one, yes, it's ego. We have ego. Like you see ego in the gym all the time. The number one reason people get hurt in the gym is because they put on way too much weight way too quickly. It's the same for running. People try to do way too much intensity or way too long of a run in way too quick of a manner. Versus if you do have a plan, and this is why I have a plan for everything. Even if I'm in a maintenance phase, I'll call it, I have a plan where I force myself to have easy runs, have tough runs, but then have those long runs, because you're getting all of the cardiovascular benefits from like different heart rate levels. But for the most part, you're not overworking yourself. So it's a relationship with working out in your case, but running. That is how I was able, and I had to go through the period where I just completely overtrained. I got hurt. I feel like every runner goes through a period because they don't know, where they have plantar fasciitis, they have knee pain, they have hip pain. Every single runner gets IT band syndrome. Like all of these running injuries, for the simple reason that no one progressively increases the right way. They go balls to the wall in every single exercise. They feel like they have to break a sweat. Did I just call you out?
Yeah, that's me. And honestly, you know what it is on top of it? I've never given running that much thought to like why it doesn't work. Like I really didn't care. So like I just know I didn't like it, and I know I had an alternative, which is walking, and obviously it's not time efficient and maybe doesn't have all the same benefits. I don't really know. But like I just didn't like it, so I didn't find a need to find an answer on why I didn't like it. It was just like, screw it, I'll just do something else.
Well, I think the main reason that most people don't like running is because it sucks in the beginning. Like until you get used to it, and it takes like 3 to 4 weeks. Until you get used to it, it sucks.
It's hard.
Number 2 is, again, if you don't do it right, you're gonna get an injury.
That was never my fear, but
yeah, you have a very athletic background, so you've been running without actually like going out for a run, but you've been running.
That's another thing.
I think a big thing for people to understand is you need a plan, and you need a plan that makes sense in terms of progressively increasing in mileage for one run from the next every single week. Go in small increments. For my plans, when I program someone, depending on the person and their intensity level or what they're training for, I usually only go up like 10 to 20% miles per week. So if they're running 10 miles in a week, I'm only going up 1 to 2 miles the following week. That's it for the week. So that means like half a mile in a run or 1 mile in their long run.
Got you.
Right? And then that percentage obviously increases when you're running 30 to 40 miles a week. But that's how slow of a progression you got to do. That's how I started. I mean, I started with 3 miles.
Yeah, when did you start college?
So I got into running, it was in college. It was after I broke my arm from rugby.
Oh, right, because that was the only way you could really train.
Yeah, so they told me after my surgery, they said, you're clear to exercise, but for 6 months, you can't do any upper body work. And I was like, whoa.
Lucky thing.
I guess I'll start running.
Yeah.
I only got my legs.
Yeah.
So that's when I started 75 hard. Was once I was allowed to work out. I started 75 hard, and my outdoor workout for 75 hard every single day was a run. So it was a 45-minute run, and I'm actually very happy I started this way, because obviously, don't get me wrong, I did not start the right way. I overloaded in the beginning. I did 3 to 4 miles a day for 75 days, and my only background in running was sports, was rugby, soccer, all that stuff. Yeah. My furthest run at that point was like 3 miles. So I completely did it wrong. I got through 75 hard. I had some injuries. I was dealing with plantar fascia stuff. I was dealing with Achilles stuff. Luckily, I know kind of the rehab and PT side of things, so I was able to manage it. But that's how I started. I started with 75 hard. The cool thing about the 45-minute workout was like I started super slow in the beginning. So even though it was a lot of like mileage, I started at like 10-minute, 11-minute per mile paces. So like in that 45 minutes, I was doing like 4 miles. And then by the end of 75 hard, dude, I was like ripping. I was like hitting, I think I PR'd like a 6-mile run in 45 minutes or something. But that was overload. So that was my learning lesson when I got into running. I used 75 hard to get me into it, but the learning lesson was I went way too hard, way too quickly. Because on day 76, I ran a marathon. And this was like my personal goal from the start of 75 hard. I always...
That wasn't the one over here, was it?
Yeah, that was a Mondoc Maniac.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah, so on day 76 after 75 hard, it was a Friday. I'll never forget. I went to work all day. I was working at F45 at the time. I got off at like 3 p.m. and drove straight over to a park. It was a mile loop, and I did it 26 times. Perfect example of way too much, way too quickly. But that's how I learned, dude. And I think that's how a lot of people will learn. It's unfortunately how a lot of people learn in like a gym. They get hurt, and they know not to do it again. It's life. You get hurt, and you know not to do it again. So I knew right after that was when I kind of first started building my own running plan. Because my first running plan was just 75 hard. It was easy. Run for 45 minutes every day. Then I started making my plan.
See, like 45-minute run is a lot.
It was a lot. It was way too much, way too quickly. But I was also very fit at the time, too, with rugby. We were coming right off of rugby season. It was a short period of time where I was off with my arm because I would still bike and stuff like that. I was a maniac. So I think number one is if you can learn from my mistakes and from most runners' mistakes, from the beginning, start slow. You really got to fight the ego.
You know what's going to be the best part? If one of you guys takes up running and starts doing this, my favorite thing when I was going through... I don't even know what we were doing. It was probably the 5K. It actually was the 5K a day. My favorite thing to do was, because the watching like your resting heart rate go down the more you run and the more you walk, the more you're outside.
So cool.
So I went through like a phase of where I really wasn't, and you were involved in it, like, and then you kind of got me going on the walking and the running and the lifting and working out. And just like tracking it through your resting heart rate and watching it come down and knowing it's all because of that, it's like super cool to know, like, not only am I getting in shape, but like if you actually think about it, like my heart is literally like getting strong. Like I'm making its life 100% easier than it was 4 weeks ago. And it's just kind of crazy, like aside from you looking better, because I was always in it to look better, but like your overall internal organs are doing 1,000% better than they were before.
Bro, the heart's a muscle. Just like we do a bicep curl and our bicep grows, we go for a run or we do cardiovascular exercise. It's a muscle. It grows.
Yeah, it's so
it gets
crazy.
stronger.
Like it's just cool.
It's more efficient.
Because you don't see it, right?
No,
so
but
it's not like that was the first time I saw it. I was like, holy shit! Like my heart is chilling. Like my resting heart rate is easy. Like
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Dude, so think about it. This is really cool too, and this is where my nerve
That was my
brain
favorite
goes.
part.
Dude, it's so cool. So what's happening is quite literally your heart's getting stronger. It's getting more efficient too. So it has the ability to pump more blood out because it's stronger, but it's also so efficient. So your resting heart rate, as it dropped, what that was meaning was that you have to pump less blood to your body because you're fitter.
Right.
Right?
It's making its life easier.
So do you know what your resting heart rate is now?
No.
I think,
it's probably back up.
Dude, I would say I think that's one of the, if you were talking about like physical benefits of running, resting heart rate, and resting heart rate is one of the best indicators for longevity and health span. If you want to go by that, like that is one of the biggest benefits.
Right?
Yeah, dude.
I mean, because how many deaths do you think are related to heart failure? Heart attack.
I mean, it's number 2, I think, in the world. Yeah.
Because everything,
cancer, I think cancer's
well,
number 1.
everything,
It's top 5.
Yeah, everything contributes to it, right?
Yeah, everything. Blood pressure, strokes.
So crazy.
cardiovascular disease, everything. But I think that's another reason that I fell into
I'm at 58 right now.
No,
I
okay,
wait
so
7 days.
you're resting.
I thought I was in the 40s.
No, you are. Your resting heart rate is when you're sleeping. That's your heart rate right
How
now.
did I get there?
So your true, and this is good for everyone to know, that one of the best indicators of health is resting heart rate. And I think I want to have like a heart rate podcast, so we won't go dive too deep into it. But your resting heart rate is complete when you're at rest, which means when you're sleeping. So your average resting heart rate when you are sleeping is what you want to look at. And yours is. I have to go into the stats real quick.
Yeah, I don't
while
know,
we do
but
this.
That was my favorite thing to track by far when it was going, just watching that thing plummet, and it really does plummet. Like you see it on there. Probably not for you because you're like you kind of sit in the same area, I'm sure.
Well, I'll be honest. My resting heart rate can't get any lower.
Yeah.
My resting heart rate right now is 36.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I don't want it to go lower.
Later. You don't have to go. Now.
I do want to know, but I don't know why I can't find it. Oh, here we go. But dude, that's like it. But it shows it. It's like that's what makes it fun for me, is that I can look back and know that my resting heart rate is great. Yeah, your average for the year is 52.
52.
But let's go last 4 weeks.
Oof.
Yeah.
57. That's what I'm saying.
Well, that could also be you're just not getting good sleep.
Terrible.
So it doesn't have to just do with running. Yeah, man. Like, so I think that's the biggest thing for people is you gotta go gotta ease into it. I mean, you have to. I've done some crazy runs, and I don't do that anymore. But
crazy runs. You want to tell them about it?
No.
Yeah.
Because this is the problem, right? I mean, I guess it is. You can learn from my experience, but it's a very extreme form of running, and I don't want to think people have to do that. I want to more focus on people who are just trying to get into running.
You'll never see me. I don't think you will ever see. Yeah. Fuck that.
So what I recommend people is quite literally going from, if you haven't ran before and you're trying to get into running, 5K, 10K.
Really?
And you can do this.
I started at a mile.
You can do this. You can start at a mile.
Yeah.
But most people, yeah, I guess if you are starting, yeah. I mean,
and don't burn yourself for the mile. You don't have we're not. I mean, unless you're looking for a leading indicator on where you are, you don't have to burn your go run whatever your 90% is or 85. Go run that and then circle back.
Yeah.
We'll run 1.5 2 weeks later at 90%, and you don't have to sprint. That's my problem. Is I always end up not that I'm setting the world on fire, but I always try and go for just get a time or go sprint at the end because I want to hit this mark.
You're trying PR.
Yeah.
Personal record.
Yeah.
So one of my things that I emphasize to all my my runners is do not PR twice.
Should everyone be running?
Great question. Let me finish this thought.
You said my runners. I didn't mean to cut you off, but you said my runners.
I'm talking about the endurance athlete, the marathoners, the endurance guys that I coach. But I do want to talk. I think that's a great segue. But real quick, my piece of advice to them, and this is to everyone, is don't PR twice. Don't try to beat your personal record in two things, either distance and time. If you really want to get good at running and you want to do it for the long haul, if you follow that trajectory of a mile, 5K, 10K, 10 miler, then it can go to half marathon. Then I would recommend maybe a 15K or kind of just work your way up and then a marathon. Don't try to PR. If you're PRing the distance, so you're going to that next level up, don't try to do it for time. Just go and finish it. Your goal is to finish. Then when you already do a 10 miler, now you have the opportunity to try to PR the 10 miler, right? You have your baseline, you have your just finished time. Now you can go, okay, I did a 10 miler in however so long. I think I can do it in this time. But now you're not PRing twice. Now you're doing it in a much more controlled manner. You already did the distance. You know your body can handle it. Now you know your body can handle the distance. Let's see if it can handle the pace.
Okay.
So don't PR twice.
That's for your runners.
That's for everyone. That's for everyone.
Okay, so let me ask you this, because as a normal guy who just wants to stay in shape, and I'm not trying to log miles or do any races, do I ever really need to go out and run 10 miles? and I don't mean that in like a combative way, but
Great
like,
question.
I'm not trying to run it. I'm not training.
You're not trying to be a
anything.
runner.
I'm
You're just
trying to
running.
I'm just running to. That's my form of like, hey, my heart needs this. I want to burn some calories. This is my cardio for the day.
Yeah. Absolutely not. But there's something to think about here.
Okay.
So absolutely not, because that's not your goal.
Right.
Especially say someone's goal is to build muscle. Well, you can make the argument that running 10 miles like that could not help you build muscle because you're burning more calories, you got to eat more. So absolutely not. But what you do want to think about more is heart rate training. So if you're trying to get cardiovascular exercise in, and this isn't just running, you can do any mode, but say you want to get an hour of zone 2, which is a low heart rate zone, but it's a workout, then you might want to increase your running distance. But you don't have to do it just through running.
Right.
So I would say the only time to increase the length, if you just want to get the health benefits from it, is more so for, okay, I want to do this many minutes at this certain intensity, so running is going to be my modality for that.
Right.
But no, dude, because the other point to that, though, is as you run more, you're just going to get so much better and so much more efficient. Your heart's more efficient. Your muscles are more efficient. You're going to start enjoying it more. So who knows, like, if you are really consistent.
I don't want to put limitations on it.
Yeah, but if you are really consistent, 3 miles is going to end up being easy. Then you're like, this is too easy. I'm going to do 4 or 5.
Right.
Then you're like, this is too easy. I'm going to do 5 or 6.
I think it's so hard to see when.
So hard to see, but
5 seems like, even 5 for me, that seems like, holy shit, like that's a long run.
Yeah.
So like even hearing that when you don't run like that is like kind of intimidating.
Yeah.
But I guess when you're at that point, it may be like, dude, that's nothing.
The coolest part about running is your perspective on the distances.
Yeah.
And I see this in every single client I work with. I'm not even going to say runner. Every single client I work with or that I've just seen start running, if they do it the right way, dude, like the perception changes.
Yeah,
like,
it's all
my,
relative.
in the beginning, I give them a 5K. It's like, dude, I don't know if I can do a 5K.
Right.
2 months later, my boy's ripping a 10-miler.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll
So
give him a
crazy.
shout out. I want to use him as an example because I think you can connect with this. Andrew, shout out, dude. He just got into running. A little background: I played rugby with him. He was a prop. He started when we were playing rugby. He was at 290. Big boy. Just an absolute animal.
I know.
Would run through anyone.
Nah, I don't know Andrew. I know those guys though.
You give him the ball, you're not touching him.
Yeah.
So after rugby, he started getting into a little bit of a weight loss journey, started losing weight.
Nice.
And then about like a year later, he was like, dude, I kind of want to start running. So we developed this whole progressive plan, did it the right way. He's running a marathon this year.
Crazy.
At the end of the year, he's running the DC marathon. But you know what happened last year when he started running last year? What he asked me, he was like, "Dude, I want to run the Philly marathon this year." No, it was the DC marathon last year. And I said no. I straight up said you're not doing it because it was like 4 to 5 months or 3 to 4 months out, and he never started running. I was like, "No, dude, you can do a half marathon this year. Let's do the DC marathon next year." So this year.
Yeah.
And then we made a progressive plan. He planned on doing the Philly half marathon in November in 24. Didn't sign up in time, so we ended up driving to the Jersey Shore. I said, "We're doing the half marathon. We committed to it. You just did all training. You deloaded for it." We drove to the shore, and I did a half marathon with him. We did the Avalon Island loop. So he did a half marathon, and now he's progressively increasing again. He's in another training block to hit a marathon.
Good for him.
Bro, a 5K in the beginning to him. You would have thought I was like assigning him like a Navy SEAL workout, but it's just perspective.
Yeah, a
And
5K
now
is not.
he-
no
he-
chump change.
He just did a 10-mile race literally this past weekend, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, like I crushed it. Like it was cool out, but I honestly wasn't intimidated because he
So
did a
crazy.
half marathon.
It's so
Like,
crazy your perspective changed on it. Your brother comes into work. He's like, yeah, like a light day, and he's not being cocky because it actually is. He's like, yeah, like just 8 miles, like something like light, and I'm like, dude. I couldn't walk 8 miles right now.
but that's why runners also come off as D heads because
He sounds like an asshole. If you overheard me in his conversation, you'd be like, that dude's an asshole.
Because like again, you like by saying that you're not thinking about it.
I knew he wasn't.
But perspective-wise,
Yeah.
it's just like that's what you're used to.
I agree.
So same thing for Andrew. By the way, you want to talk about benefits? 290 to 220.
Yeah.
I mean, and the dude is there's so many other benefits. He could go off about mental health benefits. He could go off about his relationships and his family and his life and just how much he's progressed and grown. I don't want to put that all to running.
Yeah.
He's crushing it with nutrition, but that's also been my personal
He's
experience.
dialed?
With running. Dialed. The
Let's
dude.
go.
This dude is. I love him so much. He is just does nothing but just works hard. Has done 75 hard 3 times.
Hell yeah.
But he's just such a good example of someone who he would say this, if I could do it, anyone could do it. That saying.
Nice.
Because again, if you've played rugby, you know props. I think the last thing on their mind is a freaking marathon.
Oh yeah.
The
They're
first
looking
thing
for
on their
that
mind?
5th meal.
Yeah. That post workout, that post game beer.
4th meal. 5th meal.
They're the first ones off the field to tap the keg
Yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
pass out cups.
Oh yeah.
No, but yeah, so
The life of the
you
party.
see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, that's cool.
You don't have to.
Good for him.
But
Shout out.
But here's what's also gonna happen. You do start doing those 5 miles, then those 6 miles. I can almost guarantee you'll eventually want to do a race or an event. And not race I don't mean a race as in like race it, but an event.
Yeah.
Because dude, the vibes, the race day vibes, a running event, any event, it could be triathlon, it could be anything. It's the best, dude.
Dude,
Everyone's so happy. You have a group of people that are happy because they're doing something hard. They're there for a good reason. They're all healthy. It's just you're bringing a group of people together for good vibes.
Love it.
But it doesn't have to. You don't have to sprint every single race you do. The best races I've done were the ones that I just went and I just did it. I was pacing someone. I was having fun. You just make a day out of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Does that help you with just like?
Yeah, I'm gonna. You convinced me that I'm gonna try and get back into it.
You're gonna not want to run. I will tell you that right now. I have been running and I've done a lot of runs and I still to this day have runs I don't want to do. But here's what happens. You don't want to do it, but you get yourself to do it. No matter what the mileage is. Let's say it's a 5K. Let's say it's a 3-mile run. What's going to happen is it's going to suck in the beginning, but then you're going to start running. First mile, and it's going to depend on the person, but first 10 minutes to a mile, it's going to suck. You're going to be in pain. You're going to be hurting. Nothing's going to be warm yet. Then you'll hit a point, and I'm not talking about a runner's high. I don't really get runner's high. I've gotten it before, but not really. It's more of just you get warmed up, you get that feeling under your legs, and then you're like, oh, all right, I'm out here. And then by that point, you're 2 miles and you have 1 mile left in a 3-mile run. And then not only are you getting, are you happy you're out there after the first 10 minutes of sucking, but then you'll get all those benefits after as well. Just you'll have such a great day. This is one of the biggest benefits I got from that 5K a day thing, but this is just running in general, dude, is if you run, I did the 5K days. I was the opposite of you.
Yeah, you ran all.
I did it for 250 days. I think I did 245 of them running. And I did most of them in the morning. But,
well, yeah, because it became part of your morning routine.
But it didn't be, and this is important for I think a lot of people here, when they get to a mileage that's easy, and that could be a half mile, it could be a mile, it's okay for it not to be a workout anymore. Because what happened for me with running, and this happened during the 5K day, it was therapy, dude.
Yeah.
It was therapy. So it was, I don't want to say that I enjoyed it because, look, you want to talk about therapy in general, not everyone enjoys going to therapy. Actually, a lot of people hate it because it's hard. But you know it's for a good reason. And then also, there are some that you do enjoy, but you always walk out of therapy so happy. And I finish those runs so happy because, especially with the 5K day thing in the morning, I was getting morning sunlight. I told you in the morning routine episode, I didn't go on my phone, so I was being creative, I was being innovative, I was in my own head because I don't have any headphones. I started my day off with a difficult thing. It set me up for the entire day. And I'm whether it's on camera or in person, I gotta have a good mood, and I'm not in a good mood all the time. But I can tell you, on the days that I ran, I was in such a better mood. So another way to look at running is therapy, not as a workout. I think that'd be really important for you too.
I think it will be.
Because what are the walks? Your walks are your therapy.
Yeah, I love them.
But balance them out. Don't switch your walks to runs just because of that. Keep your walks because you love them.
Yeah.
Don't lose your walks. Go on a couple runs a week if you want.
True. Substitute them.
Or on the days that you just don't have time, just go on a quick run.
Yeah, my Sunday walks I think have turned into like my favorite thing because
I
have a
love your walks. Dude.
My favorite podcast, no shout out, drops on like Friday or Saturday, so it's like brand new on Sunday. So I just plug it in. It's usually like an hour and 20 minutes, and I just
Can you shout it out?
No, I look forward to it though.
I want to know.
I'll tell you off air.
All right. I think I know. I think it was one of the ones you sent me.
Oh
no?
yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, dude. I think
The people think I'm talking about like Call Her Daddy, and like he just doesn't want to share it. Like he
Nah. You think people? Because you're embarrassed. Nah. If it's the one I'm thinking about, absolutely not. Probably the polar opposite.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah. So look, I also want to emphasize, like, I do think it's important when you are comfortable to sign up for an event. Don't PR twice. Either just do the distance, and then once you do the distance, you can do the pace if you want. But the reason I say that is because it's gonna hold you back. It's not gonna let your ego get to you. So if you set a 5K race, you're not gonna do a 5K before the race. So it's gonna hold you back. You're gonna train for it. It's gonna hold you accountable. And then what I can tell you, just from experience, is every single PR distance you do, when you're in bed that night and your legs are dead and your brain is just not functioning, what you will do is you will open up your laptop and for some reason you'll sign up for the next race. While you're sitting in agony, you sign up for the next race. And that's where people think runners are psychos. But until you experience it, it's like you want that. We talked about dopamine, dude. You want that pride again and again after crossing the finish line, because it's crossing the finish line, but it's the training that you put into it.
Yeah. You know what I think holds me back, and this is just pure honesty coming at you, is like if I'm gonna run a race like the Broad Street Run, and other people are doing it that I know, dead serious, I want to beat them. And if I know in my head, like, I can't commit to, like, putting that time in because either I don't want to, like, go out and beat them, then I'm just not going to do it. So that's ego at its finest. That's exactly what it is.
One of the best things we can do.
But you can't tell me that I'm the only person that thinks, like, oh, I don't want to run the Broad Street Run because I'm not going to put up a good time, and other people are running it that I know that are going to beat me, and, like, I don't want to do that. You can't tell me I'm the only one that does that.
Say there's 50 people listening to this. There's probably 2 people that don't do that. Everyone does that, dude.
Yeah. Well,
it's because of ego.
Yeah. I got a big head.
But the most successful athletes, runners, you name them, they are the ones that just don't care what other people think.
Yeah.
They just don't.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. I got to get over that.
Just you just become MJ.
But MJ might be driven by it.
He was
just a fucking nut job.
Yeah, you can't
He'd
even
be like, I'm beating everyone because
you
fuck
can't
them
use
all.
those guys.
Yeah,
You literally can't use those guys as an example because they're literally just different.
Yeah.
They're wired different.
Yeah.
But yeah, what else you got on running? Any other questions?
No, I've had my my own experience. Yo, I used to be like chunky when I was in grade school, 5th or 6th grade. The story's just completely out of nowhere. But this might have turned me off on running too. My brother was actually really good at running. He was. Little skinny, smaller kid, but
Bro, he was probably quick.
he was so fast. Long distance, he was a long distance runner. And the kid absolutely did not give a fuck about running at all. He was just good at it. Like, he ran at LaSalle, spoiling some of his shit. They would run to the woods, so he would just chill during practice and run back.
I heard about
like,
this.
so, like, or they would run to Friendly's. He would get ice cream and run back. But he was just good. Like, he just was good at
Natural.
running. Yeah. So, naturally, I was like, all right, I'll run. 5th and 6th grade, little pudgy kid. Hated it. Like, staring at the track, like, it just hated every minute of it, and I think it was wired in my head like you don't like running.
I'm so happy you actually brought up that story because it made me think of something that we should bring up in terms of like there are people that are going to be good at endurance and there are people that are not going to be good at endurance. And your brother was just naturally gifted endurance athlete.
Yeah, he was good.
You, I can tell you, because you're fast, like explosive and power. This is a great example. So you have endurance, you have strength and power, right? Those are two different muscle groups, muscle fibers specifically. People genetically have more of one muscle fiber type than the other. Your brother, and I'll say this probably for me too, we have more of that endurance fiber type, which is called a slow twitch fiber. You, because you're so powerful and strong, and then like high rocks athletes, CrossFit athletes, not bodybuilders, but I would say more power lifters, like that explosive stuff. That's type 2 muscle fiber, so it's literally a completely different type of muscle. So you can genetically have more than the other. So there is a genetic factor to running. So it's going to be harder.
I never knew that. That's interesting.
It's going to be harder for a lot of people to get into an endurance sport because what they're going to have to do is because they're predominantly, let's say for you as an example, you're predominantly type 2 muscle fibers. It's fast twitch. That's explosive. It's going to take you a long time to get into running because you have to switch your muscle fibers to slow twitch. You need more slow twitch muscle because you're doing more running, and that's going to allow you to have more endurance. So the difference between the two is fast twitch, type 2, it's explosiveness. Slow twitch, it's slower, longer duration. It can go for a while. So you can change your muscle fiber types, but especially people in the beginning, some people take a lot longer because of that. And that's the difference, I feel like, between you and your brother.
Yeah, the kid could run for days.
Yeah. And I think...
I don't know about anymore.
No, so, dude, I'm the perfect example of someone who's predominantly slow twitch. And I just know this because, dude, I was very small. I would say strong, but small, and you would think I would be fast. I was not fast, dude. I was so slow. But I had an engine, dude. I could go forever.
Yeah, you could.
And that's also why...
The little engine that could.
Literally. I love that. I think that's also why I got so into ultra running.
You were good at it.
I was never fast. I could not sustain a very high pace. But you put me at a zone 2, zone 3 effort.
I'll stay there forever.
I'll go for days.
Yeah.
So that's also why these ultra endurance sports come to me, or I love them so much too, is because that's my genetics too. I'm predisposed to that kind of activity. I'm going to try to shift that after this event in November. I'm going to try to shift.
We getting thick, boy?
No, I'm going to try to shift my fiber type. So I'm going to just do more sprint, explosive, and power work.
So that was going to be my follow-up on running too. It was one of the questions I had earlier. Like, would you recommend for me or for Will, my brother, like, would you recommend us be doing sprint workouts other than long distance? Or, like, what does it matter? Like, what would you recommend?
Yeah. I think it depends. I think if your goal is long-term health, I think a variety of them all is great. You get endurance for the heart rate benefits. You get the speed, power.
Yeah, so for me right now where I'm at, I'm long-term health.
Yeah.
So
going back to the fiber type thing. So this is pretty cool. A lot of what happens as we age is we naturally shift from that type 2 fiber, that slow twitch, that type 1. So the majority of older adults, let's just say 60 plus or a number out there, are mostly slow twitch, type 1. That long term, but not quick, not powerful. Right. So for a health and longevity side of things, you want to work your fast twitch as much as, not like as much as possible, but as long as you can. And the way to do that is sprinting, power, explosion. So think about, it makes a lot of sense why most older adults don't, because older adults aren't sprinting and doing power work like that. But if you can, some of the healthiest adults are the ones that are sprinting because they've sustained it. So if you can hold on to that those type 2 fibers as much as possible, which is why an argument for me right now, because I'm predominantly slow twitch, I should be doing that at more than the endurance, which when I focus on more long term, I will. But for you guys, I'll just get a good combo of both. You specifically, you're more fast twitch, so you can do more of the endurance while also doing a lot of the power and speed. But Will, he has to do more of the power and speed work while maintaining the endurance. So longevity wise, maintain what you're good at. Focus on what you're not good at, and you can quite simply think about it as just endurance versus speed, explosion, power.
Nice.
All of those.
Well said.
I work in phases. I love just kind of going in seasons. Right now, I'm in an endurance season. Once I get out of this, I'm so excited for that. I'll call it strength speed. I'll call it the Type 2 season.
Type 2.
Because then do what my workouts are. I want to do like the Spartan races and like maybe even get into high rocks. I don't know. It's just kind of hot right now. But
What do you say?
High rocks.
Never heard of it.
It's just a new CrossFit, basically. It's exploding.
Oh.
It's a new CrossFit competition type thing. It's literally CrossFit, so just speed, power, explosion.
With what? Like
All like the erg machines, like the ski erg,
Yeah.
the rower. It's like all of that, and it's just like you're doing certain distances, then you're running,
I've
then
never
you're.
seen this. I've never seen
It's
this.
brand new.
Yeah.
Brand new because the CrossFit brand had a fall off, and this started coming out, and I forget where it's from, but it's pretty cool. But that's all like Type 2 work.
Cool.
Endurance is all Type 1. So I think that was actually, I love that. I think that was a perfect representation. It's not that you're bad at running or endurance. You just got to switch your
Gotcha.
body comp, your
That's
muscles.
fair. I think that's definitely fair.
Yeah. So
Well said.
anything else on running?
I'm good.
Cool. Go for a run, but start easy. Start with a mile.
Are we gonna talk about what this bark's doing to you?
Get comfortable. It's a good bark. 5. Now I'll say, all right. Let me finish with this because you lost my train of thought. I had a good finisher. 1 mile, 5K, which is 3 miles.
Yeah.
5 miles, 10K, which is 6 miles. 10 miles, half marathon, and then from there, I would, if you're training going from a half marathon to a marathon, I would still throw in like anywhere up to 20 miles. But that's gonna be part of the training.
Okay.
Simple. You're not gonna enjoy every run.
Definitely not gonna enjoy every run.
You think you're gonna start running more?
Yeah, I definitely will.
Cool.
I think that comes with the season too.
Let's leave them with a cliffhanger. What are we getting into? Oh, this will help with running.
There you go.
What are we getting into?
I want to talk about sauna and cold plunge.
Bang. Presenting sponsor.
Do you want to do the ad read? I'll do the
We
ad
already
read.
missed the ad read, so we gotta do it for the next one.
All right.
But just shout out
Presented by Mano Wellness.
.co. See you guys in episode. Dude, I meant to put those up there. I'll do it for the next episode. See you in episode 13?
Support our sponsor.
Peace.
Peace.